Here's a story for you. You know, I was barely 12 years old when I first realized that there was something wrong with me. I was like any other kid. I loved sports. I loved to play outside. But one fine day, my body decided to betray me. I started having difficulties with breathing. Simple things like running or, even climbing up a flight of stairs used to have me crying and gasping for my breath. What followed over the years was a series of changes that included a lot of weight gain through the medication, me not being able to play sports, and basically my life changing for the worse. Eventually, these problems weren't even about playing sports or feeling normal. It was all about survival. Ever so often, my body simply forgot how to breathe and I had to be rushed to the doctors. Sometimes I'd be at school and I'd have an attack and the school used to send me back home. Not that I minded it, that was pretty fun. I had to back off from a lot of things I liked, which also meant I could not perform basic fun activities with my friends. And now I still can't breathe normally, but it's not just me. It's most of this country and especially the city of Delhi. Every winter, we get to hear the same story that the city's air quality has reached hazardous levels. The city gets covered in a smog so thick, it's like living in a fog of toxic fumes. A lot of news articles have compared it to living in a gas chamber. The AQI of the city hits numbers that are dangerous for the healthiest of people. Then there are people like me. Now, for context, the AQI of a city should ideally be under 100. Paris has an AQI of around 27. Certain cities in Germany have an AQI of around 17. And meanwhile, my lovely city of Delhi managed to reach the peak AQI of 1600. For context, most measuring devices do not even measure above the levels of 999. Probably the people who created them thought higher numbers would never be achievable. Good job, Delhi. And we can't just blame this on the winters. We have bad air throughout the year. Most of North India has an average AQI above 300 for the entire year. The air here is so bad that studies often compare breathing the air in Delhi to smoking 25 to 30 cigarettes a day. Now, as someone who's never smoked a cigarette in his life, it's almost tempting to smoke one rather than breathe this air every day. Disclaimer, smoking and drinking is injurious to your health. Please do not do it. You know what, actually, let's talk about smoking. As someone who struggles to breathe this very air every single day, it angers me to watch people, including my friends, inhale cigarettes and take their lungs for granted. इन लोगों को कौन समझाए, इनके चक्कर में मुझे रोज कितनी प्रॉब्लम होती है।
कौन सा वेप है?
वेप नहीं, इनहेलर है।
एक ही बात है, ब्लूबेरी आइस।
एस्थलिन 200 पफ। Just don't. I think we often take data and numbers for granted. For example, data from a study shows that every year 24 lakh people die in India due to air pollution. Now that definitely sounds like a lot, but to put that into perspective, every day 6,000 people die because of the effects of pollution. You know, we all know that air pollution is linked to several respiratory diseases, including lung cancer. But that's what we know right now. We do not know what will happen 10 years or even 20 years from now being exposed to this air. Exposure to this toxic air is reducing your life by up to 17 years. That's almost 2 decades of your life gone. It's almost a crime to bring a new life into this world right now with the air like this. I can't believe this is the air we breathe every day. Believe it or not, there's a building right over there, which I cannot see. Many people assume it's firecrackers during the time of Diwali, which is the main culprit of this pollution issue in Delhi. But the reality is a little more complex. You see, while fireworks do add to the problem, it's only for a brief period, and pollution is a year-long issue. And forget Diwali, even events like weddings, political rallies, and celebrating a cricket match Fireworks are used there as well. So why do we feel that banning them on one single day rather than regulating them throughout the year will fix the issue? Now, I think it'll be easier if we divide the city's overall pollution issue towards 4 major contributors. Number 1 is vehicular emissions. With over 11 million registered vehicles, the emissions from cars, two-wheelers and trucks together account for about 35% of the total pollution in the city. Despite regulations such as banning BS3 petrol engines and BS4 diesel engines, enforcement remains weak, and a significant number of these vehicles still operate within the city due to inadequate compliance measures. While EVs are often cited as a solution, they come with their own challenges. India's power grid is still heavily dependent on coal, meaning EVs indirectly contribute to emissions unless renewable energy use increases. Additionally, the production and disposal of EV batteries can in fact harm the environment. If you want a full video on the EV situation in India, let us know in the comments. The second major contributor towards Delhi's pollution is dust. Dust from ongoing construction and roadwork is another substantial contributor to Delhi's air pollution at about 40%. The city's rapid urbanization and large-scale infrastructure projects generate significant amounts of airborne dust. Simply controlling this will bring down the severity drastically. Now let's talk about a hot topic, stubble burning, which adds about 15% to this problem. Stubble burning, while controversial, is a major source of pollution during the post-harvest period, particularly from neighboring states like Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. It contributes to a large share of the PM 2.5 levels, especially between mid-October and November. Now here's a fun story. To monitor and control stubble burning, the government used data from NASA's satellites, which pass over India daily between 10:30 am and 2 pm. This data showed a significant reduction in stubble burning incidents in Punjab and Haryana compared to previous years. On paper, it seemed like progress was being made. But then a new satellite joined the story. The South Korean GeoComSat-2A, a geostationary satellite, captured continuous images every 10 minutes. And it revealed something interesting. The fire activity wasn't stopping, it was shifting to after 2 pm. Farmers were deliberately timing their stubble burning to evade NASA's satellites. While there's a lot of people that argue that stubble burning does not add to Delhi's pollution, research shows otherwise. Our fourth major contributor to this pollution problem is our reliance on coal-based power generation. You see, coal-fired power plants, which are responsible for over 70% of India's electricity generation, contribute heavily to Delhi's pollution. While there has been some shift towards renewable energy, progress has been slow, and this in turn contributes significantly to Delhi's pollution. I think this brings up the question, how can we save ourselves? Because the truth is, there aren't a lot of options. I think firstly we need to acknowledge that there are certain things that we can control and certain things we can't control. Like getting the government to enact policies that help curb this situation is not in our control, whether you like it or not. Politicians and governments are making a lot of promises. It's scary that clean breathing air is not one of them. What you can do, however, on your end is do your bit. Use your vehicles less, pollute less, carpool if possible. Simply plant more trees. Your small actions can make a big impact. But sometimes, just sometimes, we need to face the truth and acknowledge that maybe these steps are not enough. So, if you have the chance to leave the city, leave. We should never have to choose between living in a city or breathing clean air. But as of now, it is a choice. At the end of the day, I want to live, I want to breathe, and I don't want this city or this air to take that away from me. Hi. I guess this is the outro. So yeah, quick, let's get this quick. There's probably a video on your screen right now. It's an amazing video. Secondly, you should follow us on Instagram. We tell you about how we make these videos and all the behind the scenes. Everything of those sorts is on Instagram. So follow us at vyre.media. Yeah, okay, cool. Bye. Thanks.